Okay, so today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting polynomials. So the first thing we need to discuss is what a polynomial is. So over here in blue it says that a polynomial is just a monomial or the sum of monomials. So we talked about monomials a little bit before, but basically a monomial is something like 7x or 3. It's one singular term, and it can be just x, it can be just a number, it can be a decimal, negative 6.6 or 6.5, something like that. A binomial, now we're adding, and it's two terms. You can add, subtract, multiply, divide, whatever. So now we have 7x squared plus 6x, so two terms, binomial. Trinomial, obviously now we're going up here to try, so we're going to have three terms. So 7x squared plus 6x plus 8 would give us a trinomial. So the degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of all of its variables. So looking at one like our first monomial, that's just 7x. So it's 1 degree, so that's a linear equation. This right here, 7x squared. Squared makes it quadratic. To the third degree would make it cubic. The fourth degree would make it quartic. The fifth would make it quintic, and so on. We can label if it's a polynomial by answering yes or no. What makes it no is if we have a negative exponent, that would make it not a monomial, and or variable as an exponent. So if we had 8x to the a power, that a power makes it not a monomial. So there's just a couple examples. We can also say what degree it's to, because remember that's taking the degree, so how many of these we have, lifting it up to the degree. We can name it that way. Then we can look at the amount of terms it has and name if it's a monomial, binomial, trinomial, etc. But that's the basis of what a polynomial is. So from there, we're going to look. So if we had 7x squared plus 6x plus 8. This is degree 2. Let me change this for you really quick so we can look. This is degree 2. This is degree 1. And this doesn't have a degree. So the greatest degree is 2. So therefore, we're going to write it. We would write it just like this. 7x squared plus 6x plus 8, because we have to put our largest degree first. Our leading coefficient would be 7, and we would call this a polynomial, and this would be writing it in standard form. If we had something like this, 5y minus 9 minus 2y to the 4th minus 6y to the 3rd, we would go ahead and list our degrees. So this is 1, this is 0, 4, and 3. That's our degrees. Now we need to write it with the greatest degree first and then going down from there. So we would write this negative 2y to the 4th minus 6y to the 3rd plus 5y minus 9. And this is how we would rewrite our polynomial in standard form. Next, we're going to talk about how we can find the sum of two polynomials. So the first thing we need to do is group like terms. So let's start with this. So we have this x squared, so we need to group those. And then we have just x. And then we have our regular numbers. So we're going to start with our x squareds. So we have 2x squared minus 4x squared. Let's look at that. Okay. Plus, we're going to look at our x's. So we have 5x and plus 6x plus negative 7 plus 3. So now we combine these. So 2x squared minus 4x squared gives us negative 2x squared plus 11x minus 4, right? Easy enough. So this right here would be our answer to this problem of adding two polynomials. We could also line them up on top of each other and add from there. If you're doing that, I would align like terms in the first column. So that would look like this. Let's erase this arrow so I can write it over here. Oh, we can use this. So I would do this. I would do 2x squared minus 4x. Oops. Wrong problem. 2x squared plus 5x minus 7. And then plus, and then I would do this, negative 4x squared plus 6x plus 3. And then we could go this way, so negative 2x squared plus 11x minus 4. And then this is our same answer. So we do the same process when we're finding the difference or when we're subtracting polynomials. So, first we have to figure out the ones that are the same. So we're going to go with our x squareds, and then just our x's. And then let's go with not that same color. Then our regulars. Because we have this negative right here, we need to make sure, or the subtraction, so we need to make sure that we distribute it to all of our numbers in here. So it's going to change all of those signs. So just remember that when we're working. So we're going to start with 2x squared minus, right, 3x squared plus we have negative 2x minus 4x plus 3 minus negative 5. So that's going to make it plus, right? So we have 2x squared minus 3x squared gives us negative x squared plus 2x, negative 2x minus 4x is going to give us negative 6x. And then 3 plus 5 is going to be plus 8. So writing this more formally would be negative x squared minus 6x plus 8. And that would be our answer to subtracting two polynomials. Again, we could write over here them on top of each other. So we would have to line up our terms. So positive 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. And then we would give a big minus down here. And then we would do 3x squared plus 4x minus 5. Then we go from there. So 2x squared minus 3x would be negative x squared. Negative 2x minus 4x would be negative 6x. Negative 3 minus negative 5 would be plus 8. So that is another way to solve using the vertical method to find the difference. So that's how we add and subtract polynomials, and also how we label polynomials to the degree.